Shalom. All praise is due to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Recha Quadash, double honor Sith elect, apostle, bishops, elders at Great Millstone at Ruel. Shalom to elect Akyat, there doing this work in sincerity and truth and not for vainglory in season out of season. Shalom to the elect men, women, sons, and daughters of the nation of Israel, which are the elect men, women, sons, and daughters of you so-called Negroes, West Indian and Haitians, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans, Seminole Indians, in the Americas, and spread out to the four corners of the earth. Yeah, so, you had this so-called white woman, right, talking about how she don't know why brown people, which we know what she's talking about, okay, want to join the what do you call it, the Republican Party, and then you had another so-called white woman talking about how the you so-called Hispanics and Latinos would never be accepted, and they'll just use you, and then they'll just throw you away because you can never be a part of their so-called their culture of hating the so-called white men and women, of hating you, so and then the other so-called white women on YouTube was talking about what, if it wasn't against the law, they would murder you, and they would take great joy, and it's nothing but entertainment to them, but Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, okay, we're gonna take great joy and doing it to Esau, Edom, so-called white man. Okay, it says, I'm gonna just go here right quick. It says, why do the heathen rage? So-called white man, East Indian, Arabs, Chinese, Japanese, so-called Africans, and the people imagine a vain thing. We're the Lord's chosen people, you so-called Negroes, West Indian, Haitians, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians. Okay, that's a vain thing that they're imagining like they're gonna do something. In other words, stop us from being the Lord's chosen people. It's never gonna happen. Okay, it said the kings of the earth, which is all these heathen nations, Chinese, Japanese, Arabs, East Indians, so-called white man. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together, which are these summits that they have. Okay, it's Third World War. Basically, in effect, like the scriptures say, after the second woe, another woe after. They speak about the Strait of Hormuz. I'm talking about the white man and the Iranians and, the Chinese and so forth like that. Okay, but they do speak about you so-called Negroes, West Indian, Haitians, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians too. Okay, because we're a problem to them because we're the Lord's chosen people. Okay. It says, counsel together against Yahweh and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. Okay, it says, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, and Yahweh Shai shall have them in derision. And that's a beautiful thing, yo. It says, then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure, which is the nuclear missiles. So when that Third World War comes to its full level down there in the Middle East, that's when the nation's going to be broke. Because all the heathen nations are going to be fighting each other. And then when Second Ezra, the 13th chapter comes, they're going to come to fight against Yahweh Shai when they see him on that giant-sized chariot and the other chariots, which the white man calls them UFOs. He's going to make them in the dust with those lasers coming out of the chariots. And also those nuclear missiles coming over here to America. You know, so it's all, you know, it's all good. But, you know, it's going to be a beautiful thing. Okay. You know, and you got so-called white women saying this, yo. You know, that they take pleasure and it's a sport to kill so-called black people. West Indian, Haitians, Hispanics, Latinos, and American Seminole Indian. It's a sport. They love it. They take great joy in it. Well, let's go to a scripture right quick. Where this is how happy hold up, I'll make sure this is on point. Okay. Yeah, because they tripping right now, yo. Okay. So we gonna be happy. We're starting with the elect of these so-called Negroes, West Indian, Haitians, Hispanics, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians. You gonna be happy. Just like that so-called white woman said that shit, if it wasn't against the law to kill you so-called Negroes that want to join the Republican Party. Well, it's any party. Whether you doing the Republicans, the Democrats, and whatever other else party that the so-called white man has set up. And of course, you so-called Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? But this is how the elect of so-called Negroes, West Indian, Haitians, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans are going to be happy about. Just like they happy that they, you know, they hung us, they burnt us, you know, they put us in slavery, they made us get the riches out of the earth for gold and silver and stones, and tortured us and raped us. And I mean, and they were happy to do this show. This was a fun time for them, you know. But here's what the elect of the nation of Israel is going to be happy about. Psalms 137 in the 9th verse. Happy shall he be, which is the nation of Israel, so-called Negroes, West Indian, Haitians, Hispanics, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Say, man, so we're going to be happy. You know, and that so-called white woman, even though us in the know, we know they enjoy hanging. Yo, they said they found a Mexican kid hanged out in front of a police station in D.C., yo. You know, if that's true or not, but we already know that's what the so-called white man does. And then they had another video of, Elam, which are the East Indians. The little so-called black boy, the so-called African American, like you like to call him. He wanted to go to the bathroom inside the gas station / store. The East Indian told him, no, you can't go. So the little black African American boy had to go in the back of the store and take a dump, man. And then, since some East Indians at the gas station got all them damn cameras, they filmed the shit and they were showing it to people, man. You know? All right? So this ain't, hey, listen, these heathen nations, them East Indians, them Arabs, them so-called Chinese, Japanese, them so-called Africans, yo, man, they all gonna get it. Okay? Especially the so-called white man. So we gonna be happy taking your little Edomite babies and we gonna bust them against the stones, yo. And that's gonna be our happiness. Okay? Shalom.